I am joined by three of Wales's finest: Alisha Joyce-Butchers, Lisa Newton and Elinor Snowsill. Were you 17 when you came in?
Yeah.
How old were you?
52.
You're insulting every single one of us on the panel.
Sorry, I love that you just called it a panel.
Like the X Factor.
Is that what we're doing here?
I'm Gary Barlow.
Who's Mo then?
Simon Cowell.
The boss.
You and Kira used to do a kick-off to decide who was going to kick in the game. Is it true?
That is true.
Imagine me being up to Scaz being like, right, kicking competition.
I know.
What does Welsh rugby need to do now to win back the trust of the girls?
So for me to read in black and white of what the current playing group have gone through in the last 18 months genuinely broke my heart. I thought things were changing. So there's still a lot of work to do.
What do you want from a head coach?
I personally would like someone that's got some experience in the women's game. We spoke about Simon Middleton, Sean Lynn, Alex Austenbury.
I think the key is emotional intelligence. So I don't think we should limit ourselves to just coaches who've coached in the women's game.
You need somebody who's going to go to bat for you
Is
and
you two going for it or what?
get in the bin.
Welcome to The Good, The Scaz and The Rugby in partnership with our very good friends at Vodafone. Today it's officially winter and we are here at Cardiff Met University to look at all things EmpowHER. They are one of Hartpury Uni's biggest rivals in the game. This university is esteemed in history. They have produced some absolute legends of the game from both sides of the Severn Bridge, including Sir Gareth Edwards, Alex Donbrand, Claky George and Tatiana Hurd. 23 of the squad here are going to be competing in the Celtic Challenge later on in December, so we thought we'd come down and look at how our EmpowHER programme is going to be supporting them. Welcome to one of the many gyms here at Cardiff Met Uni. This one's nice though. This is the performance gym, so only 12 teams are allowed to be in here. Very state of the art, very, very suave. And I am joined by three of Wales's finest. So first up, we've got Alisha Joyce-Butchers, which is the first time I've ever said that. Wales and Bristol, obviously international, absolute legend of the game. One of the best forwards in the loose, it's fair to say, in my humble opinion.
Keep it coming.
in my humble opinion. We've also got Lisa Newton, who is head of women's rugby, also head coach at Cardiff Met Uni, and obviously used to play a fair bit yourself.
I mean, quite some time ago, but yeah, maybe.
No, legend of the game. And recently retired Elinor Snowsill, who you are now assistant coach here at Cardiff Met, obviously played for Wales many, many times, recently retired from Bristol as well. Yeah. And you're also PDC
lead, so WRU PDC lead. So it's a player development centre that's based here in Cardiff Met.
Nice. So all of the strings. How do you guys find that? Because you are obviously across a lot of different things.
So we basically work for each other one day a week. So I'm like full time. I'm full time PDC lead, but I'm attack coach for Cardiff Met. So one day a week, technically, I coach there. And then Lisa is obviously full time Cardiff Met, and then one day a week on the PDC. So
no way.
We're each other's bosses, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice, works out on a Monday.
We are complete opposite, so it actually works really well.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Do you ever have tension? Like one day there's a bit of tension when you're the lead and then the next day it carries over? Or
there's always there's not always, but there's sometimes conflict between what's best for Met and then what's best for the player as PDC, because we've got about 15 players that overlap, so who are in the PDC and performing for Met. Oof. So, yeah, we do have some conflicts. I'm probably more performance. You're more like obviously Met University.
What do you mean? From my experience, Chloe's definitely the boss.
Some things never change.
I mean, that's pretty true. My experience too. I think like that, like Snowy's hit the nail on the head there. Like we try and do what's best for the player, but ultimately I'm a head coach of a team as well. So like it sort of has to look a little bit wider rather than just that one person's journey. Although we do look at individuals' journeys through Cardiff Met as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, obviously I've got to take care of the team.
I mean, obviously speaking from being here and knowing you guys as well, it's clear that you have such a good working relationship, which obviously all of the girls are benefiting from. Speaking of working relationships, Razzie Rasmus was here this week, was he? Springboks training. I want to pick up on this because I'm pretty sure I heard one of the girls out on pitch talking about Cheslin Colby's hat. Yeah. Who's got it? What's the story? Is it you?
I know nothing about this. Don't be throwing me under the bus.
Red, one of our Canadians, they went down to watch the session and then they all had pictures after and he gave her his hat randomly. They didn't even do a hat swap. He just gave her his hat.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. We had Fiji, Australia and then South Africa this week training here. And I think obviously this gym is a huge draw to them. You've got the 4G pitch. We had Australia women's here when they played, just before they played you guys. So it's awesome. It's awesome for the girls as well. They can pop down and watch training and stuff. So
that's class. I think also from an elite perspective, like, you know what it's like when you go on tour and stuff and there's a gym 40 minutes away from the pitch that you're training at. Like, your setup here is so perfect for it. You can just rock out of the gym straight onto the pitch, glass windows if you're inside. If you got the rehabbers inside, you can just watch. It's perfect.
And more importantly, there's coffee just around the corner as well.
There we are. So you saw, obviously, Alisha and I here as part of the EmpowHER programme with Vodafone and what we're doing with the podcast. What did you make of the sessions that we did? She's passing the buck straight away.
Only because I tend to talk all the time, so I try and let Lisa talk and then I'll come in.
I'm more of a doer, me personally, but no, I think it was great. I think there's so much wisdom and little golden nuggets of information that can be passed on from like senior players or players who have gone on to represent in those spaces that can be passed on to this, this next generation of players who are hopefully going to push boundaries again. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's an incredible way to start passing those little bits of information down and in a setting that everyone's comfortable in as well. You get like lots of like Q&A style sessions where it's a bit embarrassing then to stick your hand up and the shy people don't get to ask those questions. So I think out on the field where everyone's comfortable, you really get a good knowledge share.
Yeah, and I think the backs absolutely loved it. I'm not going to fluff up your ego too much because I've seen you're already right up now. But no, genuinely, they did love it out there. And I think I'm definitely going to steal a couple of your drills as well. So
that's all coaching, isn't it? You just steal
it
from the person that you liked it from before. One of them was actually my defence coach's drill. So cheers, Keith. Thank you very much for that. Leash, how did you find it?
Yeah,
was that
it was
your
really
first
good.
Experience like coaching out there? Or
this is my first time actually at Cardiff Met Uni, which is like a massive surprise considering I live like 45 minutes down the road. So being here in the performance gym and seeing the pitch and stuff is really cool. The girls are great. Obviously, I was coaching my mentee, Catherine, today, and it was great to meet her face to face for the first time and just kind of share experiences and that type of stuff. But I thought the girls were great and they really took information on quickly. And I think that was obviously a credit to this programme you have here and a credit to them as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I actually think that was our best line-out session of the year, so thank you for that.
And line-outs are a big work on for us, Leash.
Yeah. Hang on, put the mic up, sorry.
She's getting it. The one thing I do want to pick up on, though, is you wanted me to focus on back's defence. Why wasn't I allowed to see any of your attack?
I didn't ask for back's defence.
In the back pocket.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's funny because the girls
I asked
are
for
like,
decision making and attack. But actually defensive reads were great as well. Yeah,
love it. So you guys obviously go way back. Used to be Bristol teammates. What was it like? What was Snowy like? Go on, Lee.
Snowy. She's a princess, but Snowy's amazing. I think we've played together for like many years, and she always helped me when I first came into the squad and was always a leader when I was coming through and under 18s straight into the senior squad. I think Snowy was someone that really stood out as a leader within the group, and it's definitely no surprise that she's gone into coaching now. She's a princess.
In what way?
In what way?
Give me princess antics.
With your food. Princess with her food. Knows what she wants, and I think is definitely a student of the game. So can definitely knows how to run an attack and is very passionate about how she wants to play the game. I think that's why, especially with Bristol, we were very successful under Snowy, and I think that's a credit to her and how much she's put into the game.
I'll pay you later. Thank you.
Yeah, massively. Vice versa. Go on, you can have your chance.
I remember Alisha coming in as a very young, baby-faced 17-year-old. We were 17 when you came in.
Yeah.
To the squad.
How old were you?
52.
Why did I leave a gap? I don't know how old I was. How old are you now?
That pause has killed you.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? I don't know. I was mid-20s, Mo,
Nice.
I'm going to say.
Perfect.
I reckon.
We're the same age anyway, so
we
I'm
are.
selling
So,
myself
yeah,
up as well.
you are, 100%.
Yeah. Carry on.
But no, like you came through with a couple of you, didn't you? Like a really talented group, and they just brought a breath of fresh air with them. And like, I mean, you watch the way she plays, attacking skill set. Probably my favourite part about playing with you is the little inside ball, and Like, you know, as you're playing phase play, I used to see her coming from a mile off, right? And she would have run past 6 forwards, okay, on her bike, and then she'd get there, the perfect timing, hit her through, and she's straight through on a line. So
usually drop it, but fine.
No, I'm not having that.
Don't sell yourself short. No, it's been awesome, and it's been awesome to just watch you grow and into the squad and become, well, you're now a senior player, which is just insane. But yeah, no, it's been awesome.
One thing I do want to pick up on is in the little nuggets of information I get before we do these things. Apparently you and Kira used to do a kick-off to decide who was going to kick in the game. Is that like international? Is that Bristol? Is it true? Give me more.
That is true. So Kira decided she was going to start kicking for posts.
That is so
right?
Kira. Well,
isn't it really Kira? Like, I'm going to do this. And to be fair to her, she's very accurate.
She is.
And then I think it was the last Six Nations I was in.
So it was for Wales?
For Wales. Yeah. And we were both kicking, both very confident in it. And we were just sort of like, right, well, who's going to kick? And it was my opinion that whoever's in form would be the ones that would kick then. So before the first game, I think it was Ireland we were playing first. We're kicking. Both of us are getting every single kick. If we miss, the other one misses as well. We were like literally 9 kicks down. Bearing in mind, I'm 34 at this point, and it's day before game, and I'm like, I can't be doing 101 kicks in this kicking competition.
Kira's rubbing around, sensing the opportunity.
Yes. So I just went, right, after this kick, we're calling it, we'll just decide on the day. Called it there because we were equal, went into the warm-up, both of us still feeling great, and we were literally running in. I remember we just finished the warm-up. This was like 2 minutes before the game, you know, before the anthems, you're going in, put your shirt on. And I just thought, she's not going to back down, be the bigger person. And I genuinely did think she's going to be here longer than me. So, you know, for her to work on a kicking and be the longer term kicking is probably the best option. So I said, you can kick for today, Kira. The next game, it's a 50th cap. So I was like, fine, you can kick on your 50th cap. So I never really got it back off her then until if she'd go off subbed or whatever. But yeah. That was what happened there.
That's epic. I actually couldn't believe that. And I thought it was for Bristol or something. I didn't realise it was for international.
No, it was for international.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Imagine me being up to Scaz being like, right, kicking competition.
I know, but that's Kira for you. That is, and to be fair, she backed herself up with it, and she, you know, she's a very accurate kicker. So
let's not give her too much compliments now.
No, all right, cut that.
She's been kicking all right for Bristol.
Yeah, Kira's a good kicker. She's all right.
Yeah, fair.
Average.
Speaking of Bristol, how is the season going so far? Obviously, off to a decent start. Building up for a big one in a couple of weeks.
Building for Gloucester next week. No, I'm joking. No, it's been an okay start. Obviously, we lost to Quins at home, lost to Saris at home,
which is rare for you. Like, if we're going back like a few seasons now, it's kind of become a bit of a fortress.
Yeah, we love playing at home, like Shaftesbury Park and Ashton Gate. We love both venues, but I think we're just building nicely through the season. We had a couple of injuries at the start of the season, so girls will start to be reintroduced back into the squad, which I think we're very excited for. So. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Yeah. Nice.
And you've had the addition of Emma. I'm buzzing about that, by the way. I think her coming into the Prem is epic and what she needs.
She's really good. Emma, like in training, I think her defensive work is like really, it's up there. She's really, really good in defence. And she's very accurate in attack as well. And, you know, the way Bristol play, we like to keep our hands on the ball. And I think she fits into that structure really well. And she's had a really, really good start to the season.
And speaking of overseas players, can we count Scotland as overseas?
I really don't think we
can. Is it overseas? Is there a bit of water in between?
No, we definitely can't count.
No, we definitely can't. No. Right, fine. That's a tenuous link there, but I'm going to go with it. Speaking of overseas, obviously, EmpowHER at Scotland, rumours are getting stronger. Alisha, I'm coming straight to you. Don't be looking at the floor, mate. Don't be looking at the floor. Elinor joining you after she's done Dancing with the Stars. Can you give us a hard yes or... No,
as far as I'm aware, no.
Really?
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's it.
Let the papers talk, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think she'd be a great signing for a PWR club, though. I mean, her publicity and what she could offer to a club, I think, why wouldn't you try and get her if you could?
Wasn't Gloucester the other name? So can you give us a yes or no?
I did message her and she said no. But I didn't think that when we had her on previously, she was talking about like going to London and stuff. So I was even shocked that it was our two that were in the mix. Obviously, Bristol's there's a bit more going on in Bristol than there is Gloucester, shall we say? But no, I do totally agree with you. Like the amount of PR that she's got, I don't think anyone in the country could even imagine what that would do for the game and for the league. So hopefully she does come.
Yeah. Definitely. I think she'd be a great signing. She's a great player as well. So let's see.
Definitely. And speaking of Bristol, we're still staying on it. Like, you've got open dialogue with Dave. I've heard that he's trying to link Cardiff Met Uni to Bristol. Is that a secret?
That's not a secret.
Perfect.
I think
We can
it's
go
not a
there,
secret.
then.
I
We
think
can go there.
like we've spoken before as Cardiff Met around like our ecosystem and where the players go after us, you know, and so we recognise as probably, you know, when you compare us to the likes of like Hartpury, Exeter, Loughborough, we don't have that output into a PWR club. So I think it's really important that we go out and try and, you know, make those connections. And well, it's convenient. Snowy's already got his phone number, so yeah.
Is it you? Which boss is it that gets the...
Lisa actually does all the, because, you know, I'm only one day a week, Matt.
Yeah,
so,
fine.
you know, we don't want to waste that doing admin. And Lisa loves admin. So, yeah, she does all the sort of Met sort of links and stuff. We have a couple of players in Gloucester, Hartpury as well. But it's great because, you know, they get that exposure to the best league in the world. And they can bring that back into our environment then as well.
What I think's super impressive is actually that this league is being recognised so much. So like Dave Ward, to my knowledge, he's ringing you up about people having watched their games on Wednesday, knowing about them, knowing what they're doing, their strengths, their weaknesses, like what he wants working on, and pulling them into squads, like you said, and giving them that opportunity in the PWR, which is ultimately like what this is about, like just getting the best women's rugby players through the system.
It looks a lot different to when we were in university, doesn't it?
It's mad.
Yeah, booster at the time. No, but
was it called uni back then? I'm like, I don't know.
There was no electricity back then.
Alisha.
Sorry,
Alicia's even older than us two.
You're not even allowed to laugh at your own jokes like that.
You didn't even know, do you?
You're insulting every single one of us on the panel. Right, no more. Take the mic off her, please.
Sorry, I love that you just called it a panel.
Like the X Factor.
Is that what we're doing here? Yeah. Hit your buzzer, turn around. How is your Bucks season going so far?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, you know, we try and avoid talking about like outcome measures and things like that. Like, ultimately, for me, I never want Cardiff Met to be the end of someone's like rugby journey. I want them to prepare them to go on to wherever that is for them, wherever what environment best suits them after this. So we try and avoid talking about outcome goals, but in terms of the performance standards that we're getting within our environment, like I think we can be really proud of it.
We had a slow start to the season, right? But 4 of our front rowers were involved with the senior squad, which is insane for them, and it's brilliant for our programme. We had 3, one of them got injured just before South Africa, and then 3 of them went to South Africa. So that's all in front row, which is a very specialist position. But them coming back in has just massively increased the intensity of training. You know, the girls worked incredibly hard while they were away. We had a great pre-season. Our new S&C Adam has been brilliant in terms of, you know, the standards that we were putting out in pre-season. But having those girls back in is just really boosted our performance. We got a great win 2 weeks ago against Loughborough, which hopefully can like springboard us forward into the rest of the season.
It is such a tricky balance as a coach though, isn't it? Because I've also been in that position where you're so proud of the girls and you want to push them and give them every opportunity, because ultimately you are just that stepping stone for them to go on to international. But at the same time, you've got pressure on your back to go out and perform. So it's like trying to make sure that you don't burn them out in those situations.
100%. And it's like, for me, I want to win every single game, which obviously we do, but also sometimes I have to remind myself this is university rugby, and this is, you know, it's there for a purpose, and it's there to give them a springboard and to give them a taste of what sort of professional full-time programs could look like. But, you know, winning and losing isn't the end goal and end of the day. It's more in terms of how many can we push through into national squads and how many can we develop and stuff.
Do you think the girls buy into that and see that, or are they like full international honours?
No, I do think that the girls do see like the bigger picture and aren't just sort of like one track. I think that we can be really proud of how inclusive we are in terms of like the whole program that we run here. Like we've got 100 girls, which is more than we've ever had before, and that we're, you know, now in a position where we actually need to add in extra teams to the program, which is great. A headache, but great. So I do think that girls see that it isn't just about that, and I think that we as coaches do a really good job of valuing like the the standards rather than just the outcomes.
I love that. And do you think you've seen that success like kind of harbour and grow in the last few years? Because I'd say that from the outside looking in, like your programme and the girls and the way they're coming through, like that trajectory is definitely on the up, like in quite a significant way.
100%. Like when the senior girls were training over the summer during pre-season, we had a couple of them down here, train here. They loved it, and they had their GPS on, and we got feedback from the national squad that it was, you know, the same sort of meter as just what they would be hitting in a national session. So, which is wild because Wales, I heard, are on pitch like all the time, every day.
All the time. All the time.
But like in terms of, you know, for a one session, how much you covered and high speed meters and stuff like that. So it was really valuable for us to get that sort of data because, you know, it's just good to know. But for me, I think the girls having this full-time program, like they've got gym 3 times a week, speed sessions, pitch sessions, you know, it's almost equivalent to a full-time program, which we're trying to prepare them for Celtic and PWR. It's then making sure that they don't take that for granted, you know, because you're still in uni, and if this becomes normal, how much do you appreciate it and maximise it, isn't it?
No, 100%. You obviously were a player here, Lise, and you have lifted the trophy how many times as a student?
I think it was 4, yeah. It was actually, I am the first Bucks women's champion because it actually changed from Booster to Bucks. I think it was my captain year. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, a long time ago.
First one that lifted the trophy. So you know what it takes to obviously lift that trophy. Like I know you're saying about outcome and not performance, but when does that switch? So when is it that you're like, right, no, this year we're going for that trophy and I want you to experience what I have?
Yeah, I think we'd be doing the girls a disservice if we didn't sort of like help them understand the pressures of performance and the pressures of outcomes. So we, you know, there is times in the season where actually, you know, we're asking them to come away with a certain result, or, you know, I think that's right. That's right to prepare them for the future. I don't think it's something that we overly focus on, but yeah, I
love that.
In the next 3 years, we're going to win it, yeah?
I mean, is this live or?
It's not live. It's not live. And you also don't have to answer. I'm just intrigued because obviously you've had that success. And as a coach, like I know you're both super competitive, and like it's easier to sit there and say, yeah, we're outcome, like we're going to go after this. But actually in the back of your head, you're like, nah, come on, girls. Like you can do this. And I definitely think you have the girls, the performance, the setup, the coaching, everything about it to be able to go on and strive for that, which is why I was interested.
100%. And then the challenge is then Celtic Challenge and how we sort of manage that. Because obviously it's great because so many of our players are involved in that. And at this point in the game, there isn't the player numbers in Wales to be able to sustain all the extra programmes that have come in. So a lot of players are now doubling up. They're obviously playing for us in this league. And then 23 of our players are then going and competing in a Celtic Challenge League, which is great because they come back so much better and then bring that back into the environment. But this year games are going on while Celtic Challenge is going on. So the challenge is, can we still get to a quarters and a semis without 23 of our best players? So until the player pool increases in Wales in a couple of years' time, maybe 3 to 4 years' time, us and Edinburgh probably will always have that problem.
100%. We're going to come back to that in a minute. And like you've just said, the whole 100 girls coming into this programme and being here, like obviously that player pool is massively on the up, and hopefully it won't be too many years until that's absolutely fine. I want to just touch back with you, Alisha, about Elizabeth Cook, the prop, was in training this week. So we're talking about this pathway, obviously, between Dave Ward watching the games, bringing in people from Cardiff Met into Bristol. She was at training this week. How did she go?
Yeah, she was in Monday and Tuesday, and she went really well. We did a little bit of scrummaging yesterday, and she obviously at Bristol we've got some world-class props. We've got obviously Burner, we've got Bots, we've got Simi. So she was in and around those players, and I think it's really good to expose young players to like world-class scrummaging and training, and she fit right in with them. I think she's amazing and definitely an addition to our team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Insane, given she came to us as a 12/8 in the summer. She didn't even train as prop in pre-season. End of pre-season, we moved her to prop. Well, obviously she did scrummaging bits. And then Keris Hale, who is obviously part of the PDC,
legend,
came in, and we were like, you know, what do you think in terms of, will you just do the scrummaging session and give us your sort of assessment? And she was like, she's ready, like she's strong enough and all this. And she's played most of our games for us.
She did. We did sort of like identify her as someone who could be in the front row. Like obviously it's never an easy transition, and especially at this level of competition, like we wanted to make sure that she was in a safe place, because she's an incredible athlete and she's going to do well here and after us as well. But I think she probably, what's it saying, ducked to water, you know, and like just took to it and excelled in it. And I think in the games that she's played, she's still playing like a back row, but set piece in, like, you know.
Which is mad, because if you've never scrummaged before and you're suddenly having to scrummage, normally as back rowers, the rest of your game suffers for a bit while you get used to the fitness of it.
How would you know?
Yeah. I live with a prop. Thank you very much. Yeah. 20p is my housemate.
I just love like the interaction of you two as well. Like, I feel like I'm watching you guys work here as you like speak through it, and I just rate it so highly. You obviously mentioned earlier like the PDC that you're doing. So how does that and the Cardiff Met and the WIU connection all work for you? How are you finding that?
It's brilliant, to be honest. I think, like, firstly, I feel really well supported in here. I don't know if you know Gareth Baber, but he's just come back from the Olympics with Fiji.
Yeah.
And he won a gold with them. And having him and his input has been absolutely invaluable. Like, as a new coach, I've learned so much off him, and he's always there to chat to. And then I've obviously got Lisa and the rest of the coaching crew, because retiring, as you know, is
76 caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you go from being constantly, especially as a professional, around your friends, and that they become your friendship group when you're in there. So stepping out, I was slightly worried about the transition, but it's been almost seamless because I've just stepped into this environment. But in terms of the PDC, we've got some Hartpury players on the PDC. We've got some in different universities, work and school all around the place. We pull them in Monday evenings and Friday evenings. We've also got under 18s, college girls. And the intensity of training when everyone comes together is unbelievable. So we'll do Met training for an hour on a Friday while the PDC girls are in the gym. And then we do a PDC session then. So the Met girls stay, who are in the PDC. College girls, working girls all join. And honestly, you've got the best players, best young players under the age of 24, 15 to 24, all playing together on the same pitch. And the standard's unbelievable. It's really special to sort of witness, and really exciting, because I'm telling you now, right, there's girls there who are unbelievably talented. That's class.
And that's the first time, to my reckoning, that something like that's happened in Welsh rugby for the women.
In terms of sort of like a player development centre and academy, something below the sort of senior team, and like really targeted. So identify the 30 best in the 3 regions, East, West and North. And bring them in and support them. And rugby is probably only 10% of what we support them with. You know, we do a lot of female health workshops, pelvic floor, menstrual cycle, all that sort of thing. Mental health support, one-to-one support, mentoring, analysis, linking up senior players with them as mentors as well, getting the senior coaches in to run position-specific workshops. Yes. There's a lot of, you know, other stuff around it, really.
That's awesome. And what a girl to be leading it as well, mate, after all you've done for the game. I want to jump back into, obviously, the Celtic challenge that we were talking about earlier. So for those that don't know, Welsh Rugby have also been investing in the Celtic challenge as part of the pathway in the last 3 seasons, along with the IRFU and SRU, which we'll come on to in a minute. But we can't talk about the big picture of Welsh women's rugby and the pathway without touching on the fact that you've had a difficult time of late. All sorts of contracting issues which have come to light over the last few weeks. And now you don't have a head coach 9 months out from a Rugby World Cup, and with only 3 months to go till the Six Nations. Obviously, Leisha, I'm looking at your face as I'm saying this. I'm going to come straight to you.
Yeah.
What do you think that Welsh rugby needs to do to get you back on track for success in the Six Nations, but also leading into that Rugby World Cup and beyond?
Obviously, the appointment of a new head coach being the main thing. You know, there's no secret the challenges we've had over the last couple of months, but I think as a playing group, this is the tightest we've ever been, I would say. We've stuck together. We're like a little family, I suppose. We're all best friends. And I think that has gone to show how strong we are through some like adverse times. But mainly, I would say the appointment of a new head coach and just building a culture and environment that we can all thrive in being the main thing. But that's all I'm going to say on that.
No, fair. And I think like one of the most important things and the biggest takeaway for me in that, like being a player, is hearing you say that it's galvanized you more. And I think genuinely, like, been through a hell of a lot in my career, but the more that you can bring like each other in on stuff and you get tighter as a group, like that just stands you in such great stead for the future.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Snowy? Coming to you.
Yeah.
What does Welsh rugby need to do now to like win back the trust of the girls, do you think?
It's a really, it's difficult, and it's been really difficult to witness because like I can only speak from my experience. No one knows what's going on and unless you're in it, you know, and
even then you don't necessarily know all of it.
well, no,
I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue.
There we are.
But like, you know, for me over my career, there's definitely been some great moments, but there's been a lot of lows and a lot of really challenging times that I wouldn't wish any player to have to go through. And then, you know, towards the end of my career, these contracts came in, things started to change, things started to look up, and you know, when I retired, I genuinely felt like we were on the right path, and like I felt like things were in a much better place. They weren't perfect, but things were moving in the right direction. Yeah. So for me to then read, you know, the details in black and white of what the current playing group have gone through in the last 18 months genuinely broke my heart. It really did, because, you know, I thought things were changing. And so there's still a lot of work to do. And for me, like, working as PDC lead, as involved with the under-18s, national under-18s, like, we've got such a special, genuinely exciting group of players coming through. And I just really, really don't want them to have to experience anything that I've experienced or that I've read about. So for me, huge change needs to happen. Yeah.
I think for me, like, the positive thing that you've mentioned is like there is going to be change. So obviously we've mentioned that the head coach has gone now in Johan Cunningham. What do you want from a head coach? Let's look forward. So like, if you could have anyone in the world, you don't have to name names, but
There's been some names floating about with the girls, like, I'm not going to lie.
Name them if you want. I mean, name them if you want. It's a scoop, isn't it? So.
I was speaking to Snow about this earlier, and I personally would like someone that's got some experience in the women's game. We spoke about Simon Middleton a little bit. A couple of the PWR coaches. I know your head coach, Sean Lynn's a Welshman. Would he come, or I don't know if he's going to go for it.
Everyone's bloody got a price, haven't they?
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean.
I know his name has been like put around. Same with Dave, Alex Austenbury at Saracens as well. So I think the future's definitely bright, and if we can get the right appointment in that role, I think we can thrive as a squad, and I do truly believe that.
So key things for you, been in the women's game before, do you think that's the biggest one? Like, is there anything about how they play, what they do that you want to see, or is it genuinely being able to like understand females, know how to work with the athletes? Like, that is the biggest thing that you think?
I think so, yeah. Like, yeah. Obviously we want to play a certain way, and I think with the playing group we've got, we need a coach that can come in and really like identify how we want to attack mainly, and how we want to retain the ball, play in the right area of the field, that type of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with the wider coaching squad as well.
Defo.
For me, I've can I come in?
Wait there.
Okay. She can't wait.
I can't wait.
Princess.
Go on, no, you go. You're on the panel, you go.
Thank you. No, I've just got a slightly different opinion to Alisha, because you look at Wayne Smith and John Mitchell, as far as I'm aware, they didn't have any previous experience in the women's game, but they had success, or having success, from what it looks like from the outside. And for me, I think the key is emotional intelligence. So I don't think we should limit ourselves to just coaches who've coached in the women's game, as long as they're emotionally intelligent to be able to apply their knowledge to a different playing group, then that's the important thing. And then the second thing is, again, it's emotional intelligence. What are our strengths as a country? What are our limitations? Let's play to our strengths, rather than this is how I think we should play, and try and fit people into, like, you know, square pegs into round holes. So
100%.
Yeah.
So we've heard about you two as coaches. Are you two going for it, or what?
Get in the bin.
Snowy?
No.
Fancy it?
I have so much to learn, Mo. Genuinely so much to learn. You think as a player you know it all, and you do know...
You've just put yourself in the pipeline with your emotional intelligence chat. I was here fully bought in, thinking, yeah, you could do it, mate.
Who do you think we should have more?
I totally agree with the emotional intelligence. I think as female athletes, being able to understand, but also it's an honesty thing. So like, as a female athlete, like, I don't care if you think I'm rubbish or if you think I need to get better at that, but tell me what you want. Like, don't play games, don't beat around it, but explain it. I think that's the bit that sometimes gets missed, is like, you need that detail of what I'm doing, how I get there. And that's what so many of the girls strive for, so many people want in the game, is like, I'll run through a brick wall for you, but why am I doing it? Like, let me know why, let me know the detail behind it, and then I'll do it. Whereas I think from the experience that I've had and speaking to other people in the men's game, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. It doesn't matter why.
Yeah.
But that's the
That's
difference.
spot on.
Yeah.
100%.
But I also think you need someone with credibility, and that has been there, because I think it's too easy sometimes in the women's game, in my opinion, to just step into a role because you've been a player or you've done something. Like, you have to have credibility as a coach and be able to like run a program, because being head coach of a program is so very different from coming in and doing a few skills every now and again.
100%. And you also need to be strong,
Yeah.
because, you know, to come into any union, not just the WIU, but any union, you need to have a lot of strength and say, no, hang on a minute, this is what I want, this is what I know is what's best for the programme, and be able to challenge certain systems and structures.
I do agree, but I also think there's an adaptability as well. But we could go on about that for ages, because I think strength sometimes as a coach is being able to be like, I've got that wrong. Like, actually...
no, 100% adaptability.
We can work together, at least don't worry about it.
But in terms of challenging, if they believe that the women's programme's not being given what it should be given, that's what I mean,
100%.
in terms of challenging above.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree, because again, that sometimes gets left.
I think that last bit is huge, right? You need somebody who's going to go to bat for you, and I don't think that we've like had that necessarily. And listen, I'm well far removed from all of it, but you can tell when people are connected and working towards something together that they strongly believe in. Like, you feel it, don't you? And I think that having somebody in that position who will turn around and be like, "No, it's not good enough. We need to do better for the girls."
100%.
I think that'll make a huge difference as well.
Oh, see, we are on a panel. Who'd have known? There we are. Come on.
I'm Gary Barlow.
Of course you are.
All right then, Gary, let's move on. No, go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say up to Lisa.
Who's Mo then?
Nice. Simon Cowell.
The boss.
Just a guess. Female boss.
Oh my goodness, I've lost my head. Right, we've given them a bit of a hard time, but the WIU have made such good work recently with the Celtic Challenge. Let's jump back there for a minute. Like, obviously, the Celtic Challenge will be kicking off in December with Gwalia Lightning and Brython Thunder, and both are sponsored by our good friends at Vodafone. They're everywhere. We love them. They've invested in both sides as front of their jersey sponsor, which is awesome. You've got 23 girls going, though.
Yeah, 23.
23.
Yep.
That is wild. Like, obviously amazing, incredible that you have got that amount of talent going through this program. And obviously, like, to your point earlier, saying you don't just want the girls to stop here, which I think's awesome, by the way. That's epic.
Yeah, and we're really proud to be able to do that and to put girls in positions to go and do that. We're, less thrilled at the fact that 9 of those are our front row. So, like, obviously makes things a little more challenging for us. But
4 hookers, is it?
Yeah.
4 hookers.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, which is great. Like, I think it speaks to the talent that we've got here at Cardiff Met as well. So that's class. Also makes it a little bit more challenging this side, but I don't think this is going to be the same issue for so long. And Snowy touched on it earlier, but hopefully the players that are graduating out of Cardiff Met are going to maintain their positions in Celtic Challenge, so less girls will be pulled up and things get more competitive. Then that's the hope and the ambition for the future.
And we will be tapping every single penalty. No kicking for
Don't
lineouts.
give that away. Alisha, what can we expect from these two sides, do you think? Have you been across much of the Celtic Challenge? Like, obviously, I know you don't play in it, but...
Yeah, I watched a bit of it last year. Obviously, Al Cal was one of our girls that played in it last season. I think it's great to see how it's developing in the country, and I think it's great to have an outlet in senior rugby for girls to come through the pathway that's not the PWR, because the PWR is amazing, but if you're not a seasoned international, it's really hard to get into those squads and be playing regularly. So I think it's great, and I'm really excited to see how they get on this season and see how much they've developed over the past year.
Have you had much of a uplift in terms of like standard? Like, have you seen the rise in it because of the competitive element of the games being played in the Celtic Challenge?
Yeah, I think slightly. Obviously, heading into WXV and stuff like that, there was quite a few of our girls that came across from both those sides. I think it's definitely something that needs to keep developing so we can see more progress. But yeah, I think it's great for Welsh Rugby, and hopefully it's, you know, taking the steps forward that it needs to.
All you've got to do is look at last year, Molly Reardon, Gwennan Hopkins, Sian Jones playing for Gwalia, got selected for the Six Nations, got their first caps in that Six Nations straight after. If there wasn't a Celtic Challenge programme, they wouldn't have been seen. You know, yes, they'd have been seen in Bucks, but they wouldn't have been tested in a senior rugby against senior internationals. So that's really important. But the second thing for me that is great for Celtic Challenge is it's given Welsh players opportunities to lead. And that's what we don't get much in the PWR. You know, are there any Welsh girls who are leaders in their club? Captains?
We've got a few in mind.
Captains.
All right, fair
and,
enough.
and making decisions, because I know you call all the shots. You and Zoe call all the shots in
Yes,
Gloucester.
they do.
but it's game management, and you know making those decisions, managing the momentum of a game. In PWR clubs, the Red Roses will kind of dominate that, and that's a skill that you have to learn through doing.
Just for the record, I actually relinquished a little bit of control to Flakes last year.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I've really tried. I've really tried, and that will be happening when she comes back again. So. I've got the Welsh backs as well, don't you worry. Leash, any chance you're going to be heading back to the Celtic after?
I love playing at Bristol. I do love Bristol. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's my second home. I'm up there so much. But
just for context, how long does it take you to get there, and how often are you there a week? Because I think a lot of people underestimate this.
Yeah. So I live in Llanelli, and it takes me around an hour and 45 to 2 hours to get there, and then obviously back as well. And we do that 4 times a week, and that's with if the game's at home. If it's away, then I don't even know how long.
So your commitment to the PWR and to obviously bettering yourself is 2 hours 4 times a week. Well, there and back.
Yeah. I think it just shows how amazing the league is. Like, we've got girls that have moved their whole lives from Wales to go and play London clubs, Sale, everywhere.
Hannah Jones has even moved to Gloucester.
Yeah,
Can you believe it?
She?
This year,
she's renting a place.
Married,
yeah.
moved in Gloucester.
Yeah.
We've seen her more than ever.
No.
Yeah.
With Dino?
No.
First year of married life, it's going well.
It actually is. She's thriving.
Yeah. Well, it goes to show how tough it is with the travel. It is really tough. Like, Dave always says to me, move up, get a flat up here. Come on. I'm like, do you know how expensive
It
Bristol
is expensive.
Dave?
Yeah.
No, the PWR is amazing. But I think with the Celtic Challenge, I think it's, for myself and potentially some of the other girls, I think it's definitely put a spanner in the works, because coming home to play in Wales, like, Brython's around the corner from my house. Like, I could get to training in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so close. So it does throw a spanner in the works. But for the meantime, I feel like not playing in the PWR wouldn't benefit me as a player. I feel like I have to be there.
Definitely. But I think the most important thing is that actually there is now that option. So players like Alex Callender last year were able to make that decision for themselves to be like, no, I'm actually going to go home for a year and just enjoy being at home, travelling down the road to train. And then now obviously she's made the decision to go back to Quins and is playing better than ever.
Yeah.
So actually, like, there's that difference that you can have that opportunity.
Yeah, and had the opportunity to captain them, and then worked on her leadership skills. So
there we are.
Mm-hmm.
She's really keen for this captaincy, isn't she? Least you putting your hand up for captain of Bristol.
Oh,
what?
God, no.
Mate, you're a hell of a leader on the pitch anyway. We've been so excited to launch our EmpowHER this year, and obviously to have you guys part of that programme alongside Exeter, Loughborough and also Hartpury Uni. Just for a bit of context for those that haven't heard us say about it before, obviously everyone gets state-of-the-art player monitoring tech from Vodafone, and uni players are set up with a mentor to help them progress in their rugby, which, Leash, you've signed up for, which is epic. You've already started doing it. How was your meeting earlier?
It was good. Catherine said she's going to take me on a night out in Cardiff Met with the girls. So
Right.
Can't wait. I didn't go to uni, so she's going to give me a uni. Down Chippy Alley on a Wednesday, Snow, if that's all right with you, Elise. What do you think?
I'd go for it.
They could teach me a few things, I think. So
fair play.
I'm keen. No, it's been great. Like, we met earlier, and we just shared a couple of experiences. Obviously, she's hoping to play in the Celtic Challenge, which is pretty cool. And obviously, she's playing with you here at Met. So she was just, it's great to share experiences and see where she wants to go with her career and how I can help her get there, I guess.
I love that. And also that you've actually decided that already, that's your first point of call. Obviously, one of the big things with the programme as well is the Player.Connect app, which is pretty epic. You guys have used that a lot in Wales. What do you think the benefit's going to be, like obviously from a coach as well, with using it at university level?
Yeah, I think for me as a player, my experience was if the management sort of use it in the right way, it can be invaluable. And so that's what I'm going to make sure we do is make sure that we actually, if we're asking for all this data, let's use it. So at Bristol we're great at it. If I monitored that I had a bit of a tight hamstring, an S&C would come up to me in the gym and be like, all right, skip your Nordics, just do this instead, and go 80% in speed or whatever. Job done. You then sort of avoid a potential hamstring tear that takes you out for a couple of weeks, and that's how simple it can be. And it's just another way of communicating. You might check someone over a longer term period, or they've had a lot of colds and illnesses. Do we need to look into their nutrition, or they're struggling with their sleep? Do we need to pick up a conversation? So that sort of thing is absolutely invaluable to sort of looking at the whole rounded person rather than just concentrating on the player.
100%. And obviously mentoring as well. What are you hoping to get out of that for the girls?
If they could report back all their good things, that would be great. I'm not sure I'm going to get much from Katrin and Alisha, but we'll see. I think that's a huge opportunity for them, like speaking to people who have been there and done it and have sort of got that little bit of life experience when it comes to it. Like you're talking about like the contract negotiations and stuff like that. Our girls have got ambitions to go on into those spaces, and like having people that maybe they could pick up a phone call and be like, hey, I don't know what's going on here. Is this right? Like, do you know what I mean? I think there's a huge value in that, and I also think that like growing their own networks, I think it's brilliant. I think the girls are going to get so much out of it, and Cardiff Met as a byproduct.
Love that. Also, we're going to actually chat to Katrin, who's Alisha's mentor, and also Natalia too. So we're going to have to say thank you so much to the bosses. I want to give you a little scrunchie before you go. I know we've had a bit of a joke that you cut your hair off and you don't care about scrunchies, but you can give it whoever you want.
Thank you very much.
But no, thank you so much for the insight, guys, and being the panel today. It's been
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Welcome, Natalia Barnes and Katrin.
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Katrin Stewart. Awesome. Two of Cardiff Met players. We were just talking about the mentoring program, and obviously your mentors here.
Yeah.
You came straight in and wanted to sit right next to her, didn't you? Didn't want to have any of this. Love it. When are you going to go on your Cardiff night out then? When can we be here?
Soon, hopefully.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Can I bring my mentor?
Is your mentor, right? So your mentor
No coaches
is
allowed.
Giselle Mather.
Yeah.
I'm not sure she's coming on a Cardiff night out.
I won't ask you that question.
So obviously, what's made you want to be part of this program? We'll start with you.
So I just thought it was a really good opportunity to take on, just to support me further. So yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Love it. And what about you, Natalia?
So I'm quite new to coaching, like the older age. So at the minute I'm coaching the men's side. So I wanted to apply it, obviously, to hopefully get someone else's perspective or experiences on it, so I can obviously learn more and maybe go a bit higher up in coaching.
How do you find coaching the men?
Well, last year I was coaching like minis and juniors, so really younger kids. So when I got asked, I was quite scared. But they're all lovely, they're all really keen, and they actually just want someone there to help them. They're not scary at all. I thought they'd be scary, but they're lovely, really.
That's awesome. And your mentor is no other than GB7's head coach, used to be was my under-20 head coach back in the day. Yeah, stop that.
Long time ago.
Stop that. We've done that joke 12 times already. Giselle Mather, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's really good. I've had a phone call with her, and she seems really excited to work with me, but I'm so excited to work with her. I really can't wait. Yeah.
From my experience of her, obviously, she gives a lot to anyone that she's like invested in, and I genuinely think that'll be like such a good one. Especially, obviously, she's worked across the men's game, London Irish back in the day, to then heading up a hell of a lot of programs.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I want this program. How do I apply to being mentored by Giselle?
She told me a bit about her experiences over the phone and mentioned that obviously she was the first female to get a level 4 as well, which I think is amazing. Obviously, levels are really important in coaching, so I'm on my level 2, but the fact to see a female having a level 4 is really inspiring.
It's the power of being able to see it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And what was she like when you first had your initial chat?
Oh, she was so lovely, really nice, yeah. Just seemed like really excited about the whole programme as well.
Wicked. And so we're going to stay on this trend. What are your ambitions in coaching? Like where do you want to be in the future?
Good question. I'm not really sure right now. I'm quite new to it. Definitely want to get my level 3 would be my next step. Because I was speaking to Giselle and she was saying how levels are so important. But at the minute, I just want to get as much experience as I can. You don't really see many females coaching men's side. So I think I'd love to stay in that area, maybe coach a men's side outside of a university team. Maybe that's the next step. But definitely to hopefully go higher up in coaching. Not sure where yet.
Do you know what? I'm really interested in this, and it's a question I wish we had Amy Barrett-Theron on the pod last week, and she was talking. She's a referee, for anyone that doesn't know, referees at a very high level. Similar with Holly Davison, they always talk about getting across into the men's game, and I really want to know like what it is about the men's game that makes that like more of a stigma to go across into. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is it the men's game that interests you more than the women's game?
I think for me, when you look at a men's setup, you, like I said, you don't really see any females, and I'm quite curious as to why. So I kind of wanted to get involved myself to figure out, is there a difference? Is there not? At the minute, I'm still unsure whether there is a difference, but just the fact that there isn't many females, but it's obviously rugby's what it should be one sport. So I wanted to get involved in both genders. Do you know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah,
I really love that. What was the first thing you asked Giselle, or the one thing that you wanted to get from her?
I asked it. So my first thing was, how did she get so high up? Like, obviously I'm a university student, so I was like, did you go to university? Did you just go straight into coaching? And she mentioned how she done a PE course, which is what I'm doing as well, and that she'd done that, didn't want to be a PE teacher anymore, and went into coaching then. So I was just quite keen on finding out how she got so high up.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Love that. And Catherine, when you got the email to say that Alisha Joyce-Butchers was going to be your mentor, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, super excited for it actually. Like, I didn't expect that at all, really.
And what's your aspirations with playing?
Well, I'm with Gwalia now, so that's exciting. And yeah, but like under 20s, my last year was under 20s, and then hopefully the PWR and then the women's, so that'll be good.
Awesome. Do you see similarities in how you guys play?
Yeah, I do. I was speaking to Snowy about it earlier, and I was obviously speaking to Catherine as well, and we were just sharing what type of game we both enjoy playing, and I think it's quite similar. And some areas that she can probably teach me a couple of things in as well, and I think that's really cool that we can share experiences and be open to learning, regardless of where you are, what you've done with your career so far. And I'm open to learning as much as Catherine is in this experience.
Definitely. And obviously you were part of the coaching session earlier.
Yeah, it was
How
class.
was she?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, it was class. We
Big me up.
We were working on line out, attack and defence, just about like focusing on speed across the floor and just the preload and getting straight up and things, which was really good.
Nice. Good to have a different voice in there.
Yeah, it was.
Love that. Like, obviously, for context, for those that haven't known, like, we've branched out for season 2 of our EmpowHER programme and expanded from 3 universities to all 7 Bucks Women's Super Rugby. And we've got now 35 mentors and 35 mentees. So you guys are dead lucky to be part of that, especially with the people that you've got doing it. Class.
Yeah, definitely. I think we were really shocked when we figured out who our mentors were as well. It's such a good email to have then.
We haven't done it by halves, have we? We've literally gone out and tried to get the best of the best, which I think we can all appreciate from our wonderful Shira Kilgallen. What are your Bucks ambitions for the season then? You've sat there quietly listening to your coaches.
Yeah, probably just, well, I'm with Celtic now, but after...
Sorry, but you're still part of Cardiff Met,
yeah,
and you're still going to come back in to fight for the end of the season.
I'm gone.
But just like carrying on with the good results, really, and just like progressing, really, for the rest of the season.
Definitely. And
Top
okay,
3.
go on then. With Celtic, what are your ambitions there as well then? Because your head's there now, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're in it.
probably to get as much game time and just develop throughout the tournament as well, the competition as well. So that'll be good.
And you played last year?
No, I suffered with an ankle injury, so I missed out.
So
then.
you saw the girls go last year,
Yeah.
and you just wanted a bit of it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate you being here. Really appreciate you taking your time out. Obviously sitting and listening to your coaches as well. We've got you a little scrunchie for being on the sofa, not sofa. There you are. They're actually exclusive. They're trying to get us to sell them, but I'm really dead against it. So anyone that joins us on the pod gets one of those. And just want to say a massive diolch yn fawr.
Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr.
There we are. Thank you very much for those that don't know Welsh like me. But we really appreciate you taking the time. And Leash, massive thank you for the support that you've given the programme, because it's pretty epic having someone like you involved.
Thank you for having me.
No, love it. We have been The Good, The Scaz and The Rugby in partnership with Vodafone. The Good, The Scaz and The Rugby is a folding pocket production produced by the wonderful Shira Kilgallen.